Let's build a habitat for the beautiful Caracal in the Desert Adventure Park. In this video, we'll also talk a bit more about the upcoming America's Animal Pack, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. Hello guys, this is Cesar Creates and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I uploaded one of those speed builds, but I am back and today we are creating a new habitat in the Desert Adventure Park, and today we are building for a beautiful cat from the arid regions of Africa and part of Asia, and it was indeed included in the Arid Animal Pack for Planet Zoo. I am talking here of course about the Caracal. I just love the Caracal in Planet Zoo. The model is absolutely stunning. It is definitely in my top 3 of favorite cats in this game. We'll see if this will change when the new ocelot will be added from the new upcoming America's Animal Pack, but definitely the Caracal is one of the best cat models in the game. It is very characteristic, the Caracal, because of the ear tufts on its ears. It also has this really beautiful rusty beige color and not too long tail. It is a bit reminiscent of the lynx. It is also sometimes called the desert lynx, but in fact it is not too closely related to the lynx as you may probably think, because they are quite similar. It is actually more closely related to the African golden cat, which is also a beautiful species of cat from Africa, of course, and a species that I would also like to see in Planet Zoo one day. This is actually the second time that I am building for the Caracal on my channel. I already added it to the Elm Hill City Zoo, to our wildcat house. In there it had a fully indoor enclosure with this controlled environment, and today we will build something completely different. It will be a fully outdoor enclosure here on the desert of our Desert Adventure Park. So if you guys have seen previous episodes of this series, you probably know that we are now building a desert village of our park, like a little desert section. We already have 3 animals. We have the Fennec foxes, we have the sand cat, we also have the African crested porcupine, and now we are adding the Caracal, another arid deserty animal from Africa. And this enclosure will be very inspired by something that I saw in San Diego Zoo during my visit. They have this explorers village, which is one of the newer parts of the zoo, and in there they have those cages in this very interesting shape that we are trying to replicate now, and we already did back in the first episode of the desert village of the zoo. In there I talked more about this. I showed you guys how to create something like this in detail, so if you would like to see how I did that and a bit more step by step, definitely go to the Fennec Fox Enclosure. I will put the link down in the description and on the screen right now, so you can go and check it out. Those big mesh structures can be a bit intimidating when it comes to building in Planet Zoo, but to be entirely honest, they are not as difficult to do if you just know how to rotate the pieces, how to copy them over and over. It just takes a lot of effort to create one piece of a mesh or a structure like that, and then copying it is just several minutes and you are done. So in fact, when I was in the San Diego Zoo, in one of those cages that had this really similar shape, there were Caracals, so I saw them live. They were actually very active during my visit. They were using a lot of climbing frames that they have in this enclosure. I always thought that the Caracal is a bit more like terrestrial cat, but apparently they like to climb as well. When I was doing my research to build those cages, I actually found out that the cage that I saw the Caracal in is like a ambassador animal cage. There are 3 of them next to each other, so the animals there are sort of being rotated, so there's not always the same set of animals in those 3 cages. When I was there, they had the Caracals, the Tamandula, and also the Binturong in those 3 cages, but if you'll go now, you probably can see something else. They're a lot smaller than what we will build today. Of course, we are still building in Planet Zoo. I wanted the animals to be able to move around the whole enclosure, enclosure. I wanted them to be able to use the climbing frames that we are about to build. So of course I had to make it a bit bigger. I also wanted to give them a lot of space, and I wanted to make this cage bigger than one that we already built for the sandcats and fennec foxes, to make them look a bit different from one another. So this is basically what this episode will be all about. I will also create a shelter for them with a backstage area that you will see in the cinematic shots, because I didn't include that in the video. I didn't want to make it too long, and to be honest, I used a lot of things that I already created for the lion backstage area in the zoo, so I just copied them over, and I thought that it wouldn't be too interesting for you to watch. As you can see right now, I am still working on that big mesh structure. I will be adding some supports. This stone wall in the back is actually the whole rock wall that we'll have in the back of this enclosure. There will be some climbing opportunities for the Caracals, so they'll be able to jump on it, walk on it, and this is so cool because they are actually doing it in the end. But behind this wall we'll have the shelter for them, so they'll be able to walk through the opening in this wall and go into their shelter. I also wanted to make this whole habitat a bit lower than the path level. This is something that you also see me doing by adding this elevated path. This is also something inspired by San Diego Zoo, and I really like how it has turned out in the end. Like this elevated path with this rock wall that you will see me adding in a second looks really amazing. I reused a lot of the guest fences that we already had in this village, because I just simply want to make it all look cohesive, and it was also inspired by San Diego. This entire village is very inspired by San Diego Zoo. Definitely still, I think, the best zoo that I've ever been to. Although recently I've been to a very strong contender on my like top, I don't know, 5 or top 10 list. This was kind of like an unexpected visit, but I was driving through Munich and I decided to visit the Hellerbrunn Zoo in Munich. Maybe you guys saw the whole video from it on my shorts on YouTube or on my Instagram in the reels or something, but this zoo was so incredible. It gave me so much inspiration for my builds in Planet Zoo, and I just cannot wait to use some of the habitats from it. But yeah, San Diego Zoo is definitely still number one, so I am very happy to take some inspiration from it and build those habitats in this village. I know that some of you in the comments will be probably asking, where is the Elm Hill City Zoo, when you will upload a new Elm Hill City Zoo episode, and I promise you that it is coming. I've been quite busy lately with my personal life. I also had some issues with my PC, the save file, but it seems to be all now resolved. I was able to build a bit for the next upcoming episode, so I am very excited for the next build. We of course will be building for a lot of the animals from the America's Animal Pack in the Elm Hill City Zoo, so you can expect many more episodes coming in the future, so please be a bit more patient. In the first episode of building for the new animal from the America's Animal Pack, I already know what animal will be first that I'll be building for. I'll also share with you what plans do I have for all those animals from this pack when it comes to our zoo, so yeah, definitely stay tuned for that, because yeah, exciting times. New DLC is coming finally. I've seen so many people coming back to to comment section, like saying that they haven't played for a while and they missed this game and they cannot wait to jump back, so this is all so exciting. Also, I saw that the number of views under the videos with the announcement and the teaser of the new pack are quite high, which is also so exciting and so like almost surprising after more than 5 years of the new DLCs for this game. People are still excited, people are still waiting for new DLCs, and this is so nice to see, me included of course. There is always this big thing of people being quite disappointed with the animal choices that Frontier makes. I won't even mention people who still want birds and fish in this game, but me, I am personally happy that we are still getting those DLCs at this point. And actually in the new DLC there are some animals that I really wanted to see in this game, so I am very happy about this. Maybe I'll swap like 2 of them for something else, but everything else is quite amazing. I wanted to talk about the new DLC a bit later in the video, but I already started this topic because I'm simply excited, so maybe let's talk a bit more about this. I'm recording this video a day after the DLC was officially announced. I, of course, had the trailer for a bit earlier because Frontier sent it to me, but, you know, now I can see the reaction of the whole community, and I must say that overall the reactions are very positive. You guys like the animals, you guys also are very impressed with how they look. But there is a lot of people that are quite disappointed that, for example, the Coati didn't make a cut. A lot of people were also commenting about the Tamandula or Mara, so those are perfect animals for the America's Animal Pack, and I must say that I agree. There are animals in this pack that I absolutely love and I'm super excited for. For example, the Bush Dog, which to me was such a big surprise. Like, I wanted this animal for so long, but I never thought that we will actually be getting this, because to me this animal is sort of like a not very well-known species and not so popular in zoos. Like, probably if you ask people who are not very like into animals or not interested in the animal world, hey, do you know what Bush Dog is? They'll probably look at you and like be like, a dog that lives in a bush. But yeah, so this animal is a bit like more niche, but it is a very, very interesting species. They live in those social groups. They are very good swimmers. They have those wobbled feet. I am very curious if they will be able to dive and in the game. And also I am very curious about the rig and animations, because this is an animal that I think requires a new rig. So very excited for this animal and I cannot wait for that. I am also very excited for the Rhea, although I would love to see, for example, the Vicuña or Guanaco in the game as well, because they are often housed together in zoos. Like, every time I see a greater Rhea in zoo, there is a Vicuña or Guanaco somewhere, but maybe in the future, who knows. I am also very surprised and I love the addition of the Ocelot that from the trailer looks amazing, so very excited to also add it to the Elm Hill City Zoo, for example. The white-faced Saki, I wanted a small monkey in this game for such a long time. I wish maybe that it was a tamarin or a marmoset, but the white-faced Saki is also amazing. When it comes to the flamingo, I am like 50-50. Okay, we already have the flamingo in the game, so it's not like super something that I am waiting for. It was on my wish list that I uploaded to YouTube. I am fully aware of that, because I wanted this splash of color in our zoos. And also, the models of animals in Planet Zoo has just so incredibly improved that I am excited to see how much better the new Flamingo will look compared to the base game Greater Flamingo. But because we had a very similar animal in the game, I am like, okay, 50-50 about this. The bighorn sheep, okay, I like it. It's been on my wish list, but I think it would make a bigger impact if we just didn't get the Markhor in the last DLC that is a bit more like impressive. They have those beautiful huge horns, and the bighorn sheep I wanted to see in the game, but something like, for example, a Coati, a Mara or a Tamandula would make me more excited about this. And at the end, the animal that I am probably the least excited for, probably because I have never seen it in a zoo. And I think that they are only in 2 European zoos. I'm talking here about the coyote, of course. And also from what I saw in the screenshots and the trailer, the model I think could use a bit more work. That's why I would swap this animal for something else, something that I already mentioned, or maybe also an agouti or a North American porcupine, something like this. But yeah, overall, most of the animals I am very excited for, so I am very happy for this DLC, and I am honestly kind of, you know, I just cannot wait for it to be out, so we can build the habitats for those animals. As I told you, we'll be adding probably most of them to the Elm Hill City Zoo. zoo. We will be also adding some of them here to the Desert Adventure Park, but to that different village. I had in plan for this zoo to start somewhere in the future, the America's Village. So what a suiting name of the new DLC. So some of them will be definitely also included in this series. It will probably take us some time, but I'm sure that we will get there. But definitely let me know what you guys think about the new DLC. Are you excited? Are you not excited? And what is your favorite animal from the new DLC? Because to me it is also nice to hear that, because I know what I should build for on my channel. So definitely let me know so I can prepare something nice for you guys. I think that this is actually the first time that we haven't heard anything about the new free update that was always coming along the new DLCs. Planet Zoo has always teased something about the update before the announcement or at the same time as the new DLCs were sort of announced. So this was either a new animal such as the African leopard. This was a new thing, like with the barnyard animal pack we got this whole petting behavior for the guests. We got so many of these different things that were added to the game for free, but this time we haven't heard anything. Of course the game is so long into the development that they probably are just simply not adding any new thing, maybe just some improvements for the animals and so on, but I will be definitely in a lookout for the new things if they will be added to report them to you guys. I am hoping for at least some new plants or maybe some new free building pieces, but we will see. Okay, but enough talking about the Planet Zoo news. Let's now just dive into the habitat, and I will try to describe everything that I did on the screen while I was talking so much, as always. So when I was done with this big cage, I started to decorate things around the habitat. Firstly, I focused on the path. So when you are doing an elevated path in Planet Zoo, you know that the game is automatically adding those curbs around it. I am not the greatest fan of those curbs. You cannot disable them. Unfortunately, I wish that they would add something like this. Like, this is a perfect thing for a free update, but they are not doing it. So every time I get those curbs, I am trying to, cover them with something. And this time I used the amazing mossy stone from the tropical pack. Like, if you will change the colors to something more subtle, they are just an amazing piece that I love to use in my builds. After that, I added all of those fences that I already had in this village, and also I filled those like terrain patches in between the path with different desert looking plants, some rocks, and just some decorations to continue the vibe of the whole village in this part of our zoo as well. I also added the rock walls underneath the elevated path to tie it in a bit more with the habitat. I like to use the things that I am using in the habitat, for example, as rock walls, as the same plants and stuff. I feel like a lot of zoos actually nowadays do that. They use the same theming in the habitat and outside, so it all creates this like cohesive space. Not like the habitat is like completely different from everything that is surrounding it. And this is something that I'm going for in here as well. I also added some plants and different rocks behind the habitat to give it sort of like a background. The problem with the desert map that I am building on is that it is very empty. There is this like whole orange void in the back, so it looks a bit weird when we are just building a habitat and leaving the space behind it like completely empty, because then the habitat just, to me, can look a bit unfinished. I was trying not to go too hard with the plants. We are still trying to recreate a desert environment in here, so I didn't want to add tons of different green plants and stuff, but in the end I quite like it. Of course, in the future we'll have more new habitats behind it, so it'll look even better, but for now this has to do. And then I was focused on creating this whole rock structure in the habitat, like this background wall, and and I wanted to make sure that the Caracals will be actually able to climb on it, and in the end they can, so I am very happy about this. You'll be able to see it in the cinematic shots. I was overall surprised how well this habitat was working. When I've let them inside and they could explore it, they didn't have any like problems with all the climbing frames, with jumping on different rocks, so yeah, this habitat just worked perfectly. And I'm also very surprised of how much they are actually using the climbing frames. I don't know if something changed recently, but for me, there was a big issue that the animals were not really using them, and the Caracals in here are constantly climbing, so I am very happy to see that. So to this wall, I wanted to incorporate the entrance to the shelter for both the animals. So they have this like guillotine doors that I copied from, I think, the cheetah habitat that we had in the zoo already. And then also the entrance for the keepers that they would use to enter the habitat. And what I found out during researching different habitats for those videos and for my builds is that when it comes to animals that are dangerous, that are carnivores, that could potentially harm the zookeepers, you will have either the camera in front of the entrance to the habitat like this, so that the keeper can see where the animal is currently when he's like entering the habitat, not to just, you know, open the door and there's suddenly a big caracal standing there, and you know, that could be dangerous. And in real life, zookeepers are not acting like zookeepers in Planet Zoo. They're just not walking into a lion enclosure with the bucket of food, because they will probably be could end very bad. So they either have a camera or they have a little window in the door or next to the door, so they can actually see what is going on in the habitat before they will enter it. So that's why I also added this little door or a little window in here. And then it was time to fill in the habitats with all the climbing frames, all the plants, rocks, our typical stuff. So that's what I did. I also started to build the shelter in the speed build, so you will see that, and then the whole habitat was done. So yeah, the speed build part of this video is also done, so I will meet you guys in a second in the cinematic shots to show you the entire habitat. As I already told you, I just love the model of the caracal in Planet Zoo. To me, they are so beautiful. So I wanted to build something nice for them, and I think that they quite enjoy this new habitat. Our desert village is growing. With this new habitat, it looks a bit more complete. But of course, I cannot wait to add more habitats in the future. In the next one, we will actually start building something that I was teasing for such a long time. The safari ride through the dunes of desert. So definitely stay tuned for that and tune in for the next episode. I really like how this new cage looks next to the one that we already had. And I am also happy that I decided to lower this new one into the ground a little bit, so that we have this elevated path, because it made it look a bit more unique, and I really like the look of it. Here is also a look into the backstage area that I promised you guys. So we have two different night quarters for the animals. We also have some medical training stuff and some typical zookeeper stuff that we always add. Okay guys, and this is all. We have a new caracal exhibit inspired by the San Diego Zoo in the Desert Adventure Park. If you enjoyed the episode, please consider to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a video like this. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and of course let me know down in the comments what do you think about this habitat, if you like it or there's maybe something that could be improved, and let me know what you think about the upcoming America's Animal Pack, and again, which animal is your favorite when it comes to this new pack. Thank you so much for watching, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!